do. So everything was about criticizing him. So I was ruining his life until I learned this, that I do need to be different. And if you have a brain like mine, you really need to work hard to change your brain. So then how in the world do we find anything to praise our guys about? They don't do anything big, right? The only thing we get from our spouse is the church people complain, we have to cook for these people, we have to cook for that people, all of these things, right? But we have to start from somewhere. And starting somewhere could be just like anything. Like we could be watching Korean drama over the weekend, and it's so romantic, it's so fun. In the middle of watching it, I will tap his knee and say, wow, this is so fun, isn't it? He goes, yeah, it's so fun. I said, do you know why this is so fun? And he was like this, And I said, it's so fun because you're sitting right next to me, watching this with me. And I thank you so much for that. Isn't this true? Just imagine he passed away. I am watching this Korean romantic drama, and they make that drama really good, right? And then am I going to be so happy and romantic? No, I'm going to be so sad and missing how he walked with me, what he did for me, and all of this. It's fun and romantic because he's here right with me. So why wait until he dies and then say, so sorry, I didn't tell you how much I appreciate you. It doesn't work. You say it now and say it every day. And how many times does guy need praise? Ladies? 4 times a week. So you need to be busy. You try to do this. I try to do this for a long, long time. And sometimes I don't have an idea what to say anymore. One day I was coming back from work. That was the first day I was supposed to say something to him. I couldn't think of it. My brain was too exhausted. Oh, forget it. Tonight is done tonight. I start over next week. Because you can only repeat the same thing every other month, You can't say the same thing every day, The guys are forgetful, so you can wait another, 2 months and 3 months. I say the same thing, they're okay, they're still happy. But that night I just couldn't come up with anything. But this is the beauty of our brain. When you train your brain, you become very, very positive. I pulled into our garage, and as I pulled in there, my husband usually opens the family room door. He comes out to get my computer to get me in. But that night, he just stood at the door. He put his, tall body and put his arm over the door and say, come on in. And all of a sudden, I didn't even plan this. My brain goes, wow, even the door looks beautiful because of your hand over there. And he turned around. As he was turning around, he said, isn't that a little too much? But he didn't dislike it. His mouth was still hung, right? It was still hung between his ears. He was happy about it. So when you try to make your brain positive, brain will change and make you to become more positive. So think about anything. If he's walking with you, just look at him one more time and say, thank you for walking with me. You are the most awesome guy, right? So when he comes out with a sermon, instead of analyzing and criticizing it, now what do I say? That was the most awesome sermon I ever heard. And he thinks it's really true. It is really true, right? And his mouth is going all the way up like this, right? So I don't ever try to tell him on behalf of my church member. I don't try to criticize him about what he didn't do right, what he did do right about the sermon. It's his sermon, just as he tells me not how I teach and what I have to teach, right? All I need to do that your sermon was just as good as Dwight Nelson, or just as good as somebody's really, So then he thinks that his sermon is good. So by the time you give him a lot of praises like that, and then you just do not refuse him every night, his shoulder will become broadened and feel like he is a man, that he should be the man of God walking on this earth, right? Now every now and then I still criticize him. And if I criticize him every now and then, he just breaks down right away. It doesn't even take 2 weeks. You don't think of it much, right? I think of you loud, everything. It's only this part. So if I talk about good things for 100 times and talk about one bad thing, he still breaks down. And I don't know what to do about this. I have to ask God, why did you make us guys like this? It's too hard for us to keep up with your own self-image. We don't need that much compliment, right? So, but we still have to work on it. And the third one that we need to do, that we ladies, we do need to take care of our body. Did you notice, ladies, I changed my clothes from the morning to this blue color. Who did I change this for? For men. Guys like a colorful clothes. If you're going to wear gray and black all the time, let that be very stylish, the sexy style one. But don't wear black and green, black and gray all the time. Wear it as an accent, but add some colors to you. And to take care of your hair, take care of your makeups. You don't have to be Miss America or Miss University for you to look beautiful. Beauty is eyes of the beholder. He loved you the way you were. So if you take care of yourself just a little bit, he thinks you are the most beautiful woman on this earth. Right? So do take care of it, because guys, when you look gross, and then you go around with the lion hairstyle at home, and you try to save money, so you make a helmet hairstyle so it'll never uncurve, things like that. They don't appreciate you like that. So spend a little bit of your money to do your hair good, to look good, and to look pleasant, and they feel so proud of you. Did you hear that? Yeah. So, the money?
Yeah, a little bit of what? Of money to take care of the women, right?
Oh yeah. So how much money do we need? We should talk about that, right? I don't know. Do we have a president here? Southeastern Conference president? No? And no elder cabinet, so we can talk about this, right? What university was it? Not Yale. One of the, Johns Hopkins University. Yes, thank you for someone saying it for me. University did research a few years ago. How much money do we have to have for us not to be affected by lack of the money? This is a nationwide study that we need to have at least $70,000 a year. Of course, nationwide meaning including Michigan, South Carolina, Georgia, and California. So I know our pastors, we don't make quite that much. Somehow it can be combined income. They could be wife and husband together. So if we make a little more than $6,250 each month by combining income, we're okay. Now we just have to develop our brain to be more positive and more compassionate. And in California, we probably need a little more. But some of you have a very different lifestyle. You know how to live with only $4,000 and still be happy. Some people are very gifted in that. Some people could have $20,000 or $40,000, still complain about not having enough money, right? But as long as you know that we do need to have some money to live, because it is very difficult when we go to the grocery store and there's 3 green onion bundles, $1. And if we don't even have $1 to buy it, we're counting, can I just buy 1 bundle or 2 bundles? Now that is too much stress for us. So if we can have a little bit of money so we don't have to worry about it so hard, that we will be happier. But if my husband makes $30,000, am I going to be happier? No, that was the purpose of the study. The more money after that baseline does not bring more happiness. More relationship knowledge and relationship skills brings more happiness to us. And thank you for that question. So take care of your appearance as well. And after all, even though they do all of this pastoring, this and that, guys' goal of life is becoming the hero of their own life, no matter what they say. So if we can make him the hero of our own life, they have their life, they will be more energetic in preaching, they'll have more energy in visiting people, they'll have more energy in leading the board meeting, and they will have all of these things they need to have. Okay, so these are the things that we need to have, right? So, and there are some region style differences as well that we need to understand a little bit. The female, we see, wide and short range very, very well. So when we walk by at home, from hallway, from the kitchen to the bathroom, as we're walking, we see everything, the diapers and socks, and so we try to collect everything, put in the trash can, and we go to the bathroom and take care of what we need to do and come out. So we're anticipating or expecting guys can do the same thing. So when he's walking by, he'll say, "Honey, can you pick up the diaper from the floor?" He goes, "What, and where?" And then he's already in the bathroom, and we're thinking, he just doesn't want to help us, But it's not that they don't want to help us, it's just they cannot see too many things all at once. So even if when we open the refrigerator, what do we do as a ladies? We open, we get closer, and we see everything very well. We find ketchup, orange juice, milk right there, all the cooks we do. But husband, if we ever ask him to find anything from the refrigerator, what does he do? He goes there. He's actually wearing a binocular lens. Honey, where is it? I can't see it. Where? Second shot? Oh, let me see. Oh no, I don't see it. And by the time you say this a few times, you get so frustrated, right? You just forget it. And then you just, snatch him away and then you try to get what is faster. It's because their vision is a very long and tunnel. Literally, they cannot see too much in the refrigerator. So if you go out for the trip, don't pack your refrigerator with all the food, with all your hard work. Because when you come back, what happens? All the foods are still sitting there. It's too much for them to find it. It's much easier for them to buy a cup ramen from the store and just pour water and then eat it. So it's the same thing with your sons. If you're raising a son, you send your daughter to find oranges, she will find it just like that. And you send your son to find it, he is forever looking for it. And don't slap him just because he's being a little boy. Don't say, now look at your sister can find it so fast, why can't you not find it? Don't compare. He's just being a little boy. So even with the eyesight, guys get all scolded by women for not able to find things so fast. But sometimes their eyes are really good, especially when they're driving. They can see the exit sign really good and they prepare, they can get out. We cannot even see the exit sign. We go near them. Oh my goodness, I passed it. So we have our faults as well. So try to work with them and try to understand when they cannot find. It's not that they're intentionally trying not to help us. It's just they cannot see it. Okay? So benefits, as long as I'm talking about the eyesight. What time is it? I have 1 more hour? So, what time is it, really? Do I have half an hour? Half an hour? Yeah? Okay, so.
You have 50,000 words to go.
Okay, so let me know let me know when about 5 minutes before because my watch is okay. So let's go. Guys are very, very beautiful. Can I take a question? Okay.
You mentioned the fact that women, wives, say about 50,000 words, while the men only 25,000 words.
12,000.
Yeah, that's why. Because the wife has to repeat, so that the man
Okay. So he's saying that we say 50,000 words a day because we have to repeat the same thing over and over. Right? So if you don't want your wife to repeat the same thing over and over, when she said the first time, summarize this, repeat, and then summarize and side with her, she will never say twice. It's because you don't look at her first of all, and then you go, okay, are you done with it? And then she will repeat and repeat and repeat. So if you don't want her to repeat the same thing over and over, you summarize, you nod, and you side with her. Same thing, if she's talking about 15 years ago or something, and she's still talking about it, don't get mad at her. by saying how long you're going to be talking about this thing, you know. You summarize. You've been hurt with this issue for past 15 years. I am so sorry about that. I will never do it. Summarize, say sorry, and I'll never do it. And then that kind of heals or hurt feeling. Same thing. So going back to guys and talking about vision, guys are very visually oriented. They love to see beautiful women, right? Even though the pastors are same thing, they love to see beautiful women. So make sure you take care of yourself. And when you go to the beach with your spouse, and there we go, there's a beautiful, tall, beautiful lady walking towards you in bikini. Don't get alarmed because he will be looking at her. And he's just being a guy. So if you don't want him to look at her too long, this is what you can do. Wow, honey, look at her. Doesn't she look so beautiful? I cannot stop looking at her. So you already distracted his own attention, right? And you look at her and say, oh, she's not that beautiful, you know? So don't get so jealous if he doesn't. It's just the nature of a guy. That doesn't mean he's going to go after her. But if you're really scared, because in a guy's vision, it's a tunnel vision. Whenever, I mean, of course, you know, we women, we also see handsome guys too. And we see it, but we don't have to turn around like this, you know. We can see him walking, oh, he's so handsome, oh, he's so handsome. But we don't ever have to call by you. Because we don't have to turn around at you guys, because your tunnel vision, when you see somebody, you're going like this. And that's why you're like, oh, stop it, you know. We see two women confess it, right? We just have to, we don't have to go 180 degrees to see all of them around. We can see everything. And we still think who's handsome, who's not handsome. But the guys, they cannot hide it. They just have to go like this in every angle. So, you know, when a beautiful woman walks by, just enjoy together. And instead of being jealous, we just say, okay, enjoy. You know, God made woman so beautiful. And he did. You know, so woman so beautiful, so enjoy together. Okay? So benefits of happy marriage. Why do we have to live so happily? If we eat healthy food, the researchers are telling us that we can have 7 more happy years, right? And the other side of research also tells us that if we live happily, we have 7 more years of a happy and healthy life. So we can earn 14 years. Stay, eat good, healthy food, exercise, drink a lot of water, and all of that, and live happily as a partners. Then we can have a lot more happy years to live. So there are a lot of benefits coming from there. And of course, having happy marriage boosts the immune system 20% up. Now this is a lot. So if we know how to make our spouse happy, and vice versa, then we don't usually get sick. Sometimes we may catch cold, but it'll go away a lot faster. It's when we're not so happy between us, then all the illness comes more. And for guys, half the risk of male heart attack is decreased, and the stroke. So ladies, if we know how to make him happy, they will have a lot less heart attack and a lot less stroke. Of course, you're only learning 2 hours this time. I teach like this for 12 sessions, 2 hours for 12 weeks. And if you have any kids who's going to get married, right, you can let me know so they can come and learn before they get married. So things like that. And even 2 hours will help some, right? So even guys, when wife does not refuse him every night, not tonight, tomorrow's not tonight again, 2 weeks later, not tonight. If we don't refuse the guy and accept the guy and the husband, and their prostate cancer decreases 1/3. What do you know? Very, very important, right? And for women, when we are emotionally bonded and have a good communication skill with the guys, our anxiety level decreases. And an aggressive behavior decreases, and a lot less hatred. So in your church, if your church members are obsessive, very hateful, arguing each other, are you going to have an evangelistic meeting? or you're going to have a marriage seminar. Think about it. Be practical. If you can make two people live happily, they don't become obsessive with you. They're not barking at you all the time. Have you seen a happy couple complaining about you? It's usually their internal dynamic is not content. Then they all talk about pastor and pastor's wife and bickering about this pastor, that pastor. All of this obsessivity. So think about it. If we can make the people live happily, and a lot of oxytocin flowing in our body. Oxytocin not only makes us to feel very intimate, but it also makes us to trust people. So you can imagine if couples live very happily, we trust each other more. We don't doubt people. We can entrust our ideas in the board members. And even if our ideas got rejected, we feel okay with that. Because in our brain is so relaxed and content. And not having my opinion get picked in by board members is not that important. So, having happy marriage is very, very important. And of course, when we have a good sex with a lot of oxytocin triggers endorphins to come out. When oxytocin endorphin comes out, that works as a sedative. We sleep good, right? And of course, oxytocin surge, 5 times more normal level. And when that normal level comes within the sexual intercourse, that triggers endorphin. Endorphin also triggers DHEA that makes people look younger. So ladies, you asked me this morning, how come I look so young? Now you got the secret. It doesn't have to be every night. Whenever he needs it, whenever I need it, we enjoy happily in God's plan. It makes us, keep happy and young, right? A lot of migraine will go away, right? A lot of depression will go away automatically when couples live happily. There's a lot of advantages. There are a lot more that I can bring here. Okay? So, as a parent, living lovingly is the gospel to our children. It's not about that they don't know when the Sabbath starts, when it ends. It's not about that they don't know about healthy food, what they're supposed to eat. Those things do not draw them to God. But if we live lovingly, and we talk about love of God, they get it instantly. That's what it means by loving God. My mom and dad, they are happy. They protect each other. They love each other. So then they do fall in love with God. So let's get our gospel straight here. The living lovingly is the main core issue of our Adventist message we should have. We know everything already. We know all the prophets, all the 3 angels' message. I think it's about time that we need to focus on the real gospel. Bring the love of God in our life. And learn detail, specifically, what is love for woman, what is love for men, that we learn like this, and we will do a lot more. Can I have water, please? Thank you. So the first session we had last night, the pastor talked about take care of your family first, take care of your wife first, and your children. And then take care of your church member. That's the right order. Because if she's not happy, if your kids are not happy, making your church member happy does not last very long. So take care of your wife first. When she's sick and there's a visitation you promised, you need to be able to say, I'm so sorry, my wife is sick tonight. Can I rearrange my appointment with you next week? You should be able to do this. Don't get caught up by the approval issue that everybody has to love you. No matter what you do, not everybody is going to love you. We talked about this in our Shepherdess Conference, how to manage difficult people. Everybody has a wounded heart. no matter what we do, we're not going to please everybody. If you can make most people happy, you're doing good. Even though we don't intentionally try to hurt people, we are very capable of hurting people because they are already hurting inside from whatever hurt they received from their own childhood. So take care of your wife and her illness and her need first. And when you do that, our children will not leave. They know what love means. It's when we are so hypocritical that we are so nice to each other at the church setting. And then as soon as we get in the car, we're bickering at each other. And we're so nice over the phone to our church members. And as soon as we hang up the phone, and again, go do your homework. What did I tell you? And our tone of voice is just not loving. That's when they get very distasteful when you preach about love of God in the church. It's that we have to live with the love. And living lovingly is the gospel truly for our kids. And that's what we need to learn more, okay? So then, God's command is like this. Let's read together. Ready and go. My command
is this, love each other as I have loved you.
By this, all men will know that you are my disciples, if you love one another. And when he talks about love one another, the priority, the prime core person has to be your partner first. Not your church member first. Learn everything you can in loving your partner as fast as you can. And when you do this, your face will change. You look happier when you go to the church. You look brighter. She looks happier. And everybody says, oh, what's happening? Do we need to learn something from our pastor and pastor's wife? It has to be in that order. So I want you to learn more, and you learn a little bit about how to live as a wife and husband, and there are a lot more to learn. And I do teach this for a lot of people. So if you need to learn more, would you like to contact me? Yes, I can put out